One of the things that I love about the IELTS Face-Off team is that everybody is so supportive, but there's one thing that I always hope for, and that is to have a co-host with me on the show. And I think the producers listened, and they've given me a co-host, Michael Liu. Hey,
Hello,
Mike.
Puppet. How are we?
I'm good. How's it going?
Very good, but hold on for a minute. Can you say I'm your co-host?
Yes, you're my co-host.
Yes, we are now. So who are we hosting for the first episode?
A guy who's a great goal setter, and he is an inspiration for a lot of people.
Sounds like someone is going to make me look bad, but I'm intrigued. So shall we go?
Well, we're in this together, so let's go and meet Ngozi Wang.
Let's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll, Puppet.
First time ever, we have a duo host. They are gonna face off with a boy in the dreams of many girls. Young, handsome, talented. He received PhD scholarship at 21 years old. How did he manage to set the goals of his life? We will find out soon. Next on our IELTS on the go journey, we will have a brand new host, Đặng Trần Tùng. 9.0 IELTS will take you to the Diplomatic Academy of Vietnam to meet the future diplomats. And up next, back to the master studio with our lovely IELTS experts from British Council, Elizabeth Cantman, aka Miss Lily. Lots of useful tips will be shared with you. A new episode full of surprise. Are you excited? Stay right there. It starts right now.
Hello. How are you?
Good, thank you. Great to be here.
So maybe we will have a little bit of an introduction. Why don't you tell us, a lot more about who you are and what you're currently doing?
My name is Ngozi Lun. I'm a second-year PhD student at Brandeis University in the United States. My major is international relations. Most people know that as diplomacy.
So what triggered that interest of yours in diplomacy?
So I'd say there are two things. So first of all, I'm a big fan of history. And when I came to Sweden in high school, I was taught by really awesome teachers. They really helped me understand how everything played out and how historical events shaped the world that we're having today. And that really helped me, get into the subject. And then I realized that history and international relations, they are inseparable. That is how history led me into international relations, but then diplomacy is an aspect of international relations, and it's interesting for me because I think it's a great way of life, actually. It teaches you to be delicate. It's like an art form.
Have you ever heard of diplomacy being described that way as an art form?
No, it's actually my first time, and what I really love about that is he mentions delicacy. It trains you to be delicate.
Within diplomacy, there is a place for directness. Sometimes you have to be tough and direct. But the key is to, vary that and use only when it's absolutely necessary. Because sometimes you need to convey a very clear message to the opposing side that this is what I want. And
so, are you a goal-oriented person, or would you say you're a spontaneous person?
Somewhere in between. I do believe in the necessity of having direction, but it's also necessary to be somewhat flexible with it. Sometimes things just don't go your way, or opportunities present themselves and you have to change your plan and take advantage of those opportunities. It would be such a waste if you...
You're kind of driven by goals, right? So what happens if these goals don't go your way?
Sometimes it doesn't go the way that I've planned, but those are minor deviations. The big goals that I've set for myself, for instance, getting a scholarship, staying in Europe, do my undergrad, etc., I've been able to achieve. I failed sometimes. For instance, I didn't get to Oxford. Man, it was devastating.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly sitting in the dining hall in my high school in Sweden, and I just happened to check my smartphone, email, I saw a rejection letter from Oxford, and I got really debilitated for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But then, I'm someone who also forgets, set things aside very quickly, and I like to plan for tomorrow's battle. I don't dwell on yesterday's victories or defeat.
What helped you through that sense of disappointment when you received that rejection letter? Because rejection is something that's so difficult for many people to handle.
As you may know, I play table tennis a lot and quite competitively, and losing is part of the game. You're not going to win without losing. Even the #1 champion of the world has some games where he lost. For me, losing it's painful, But then again, I feel that it's such an inevitable part of life, so that I keep that idea in mind. So in the end, it helps me manage the situation a little bit better.
Let's say if you stripped of all of those success that you've had, you know, stripped of your PhD, stripped of your education, would you be comfortable and would you like who you are?
I don't often think about that, but I think I'm fairly okay with who I am. Even if I don't have PhDs, et cetera, et cetera. I actually don't regard those as success. For me, the definition of success is seeing an impact. So if I do something and I see it creates a positive change in other people's life, I'm happy. I don't need to have a PhD or master's degree or go to Harvard or anything, although those would be really awesome. But, you know.
So what are some of the biggest challenges in your life?
Actually, one of the challenges that I found is that I like to do way too many things, too many interests. That's painful. The bad thing about the challenge of having a lot of interests is that it drains your power, your energy, and your time.
And it can get you lost every now and then
Exactly.
too.
Because you can't focus, right, on your main goals. That's actually difficult.
I think you're not the only one having to deal with that, because a lot of young Vietnamese students these days struggle to find what their true interests, what their main focuses in lives are. Many of them just enroll into courses without thinking about why they do it, mostly because they're lost and mostly because they have way too many things to be interested in without knowing what they should prioritize. So how did you sort of like find diplomacy as your main focus?
Some people might have judo as their passion or football, soccer as their passion, but they might not pursue a career in that. A bit different. For me, it's both my passion and also what I do academically, professionally. Because of that reason, it gives me perseverance to just keep on following that goal and without being distracted too much about it. I've told you once that I failed again in Oxford when I was an undergrad. I got my revenge when I applied to graduate school, but I decided not to go to Oxford, go to the United States. Sometimes, and obviously I play table tennis, and so losing is just part of the game. I'm pretty used to actually losing.
While we might not actually be able to change the outcome of your Oxford application, we do have a little bit of a challenge for you here. Right. Now, this is how we're going to make your life a little bit difficult, but I'm sure you're going to enjoy it, considering it's your it's one of the games that we have for you is your favorite, table tennis. So,
nice. It sounds good.
All right, so let's jump to the challenges. Here we are back in IELTS Face Off. Now, we are going to beat him in his very own game.
For this section of IELTS Challenge, we will be basically having these two guys play ping pong with each other. And while they're playing ping pong, I'm going to be asking Len a series of questions. And hopefully, my partner Mike will win against this ping pong champion. Do you think you'll win against him?
Let's try that.
All right.
Come at me, man.
Let's start the game, guys. All right, Len, what is the origin of your name?
My dad was in New Zealand when I was born.
So Len, what is the rule for a perfect skin texture like yours?
Skin?
Yeah, why do you have
Skincare?
such good skin?
I said boiling water.
Boiling water on your skin?
Yeah, with them cam.
With them cam, okay. So Len, what is your ideal girlfriend?
Ideal girlfriend? Hard one. I don't know. Caring?
Caring? Okay, now I think it seems like somebody else is losing. Partner Mike, you go for it. Go for it, Mike. What do you think about Mike losing right now?
I'm enjoying.
What animal do you hate the most?
Cockroaches, if they count as animals.
All right, so right now, what do you think about your fair skin? Have you ever gotten teased for it?
Yes, a lot.
And what do you think of it? Do you like it?
I enjoy it. I don't mind. This is as dark as it gets.
So what do women like the most about you?
I don't know. Should ask them.
If you're not doing diplomacy, what are you going to be doing right now?
Well.
All right, sorry, Mike. I tried to help you.
It's okay, I still won the hearts of our audience, so no problem.
Yeah, and the winner today is Len. Well, that was all the fun and games, and congratulations for winning. multiple mediums. And what a great show you put up, Mike.
That's what I do, just for show. Now it's time for our big reveal as we get to show what our dreams and endeavors are.
Okay, so all the deep stuff. Let's take a look at the goals, okay?
So
Great.
let's move on to the third one, one of our most peculiar ones.
Very abstract.
Very abstract. Okay, this is mine, and
Okay.
it's actually, I think the picture doesn't really reflect the message that well, but this one is about, you know, hoping that women will be very comfortable being single. In Vietnam, you know, we always face this kind of negative notion into, you know, older women that's not married, and there's a term called ế, and definitely one of my goals this year and for subsequent years to come is to chống ế, meaning to help people, you know, not have a negative connotation towards single women.
Okay, cool. And number 4, develop a debating culture in Vietnam. That sounds big.
This is Dylan, and tell us more.
One of the big goals I've set for myself over the long term, I think it will take decades, if not, you know, century or more to get to where I want. But I think it's crucial for our society, for people in the same society to communicate with each other effectively, debate important social issues so that we can get a consensus and then move forward. But I look at the way people debate with one another in Vietnam right now, face-to-face and on Facebook, and I think it's terrible, to be frank. It turns into a shouting match, and it can get really dirty and nasty.
Great. All right, so number 6, we see a VN, we see a mouth, we see a Vietnamese great world, and this belongs to our lovely Mike.
Yes. You know, as a TV host, a TV presenter, I'm the voice of the people, I suppose. So I would also like to bring that voice to the world a bit more, bring Vietnam to the global stage a bit more, give Vietnam more of a voice on the international stage. Basically that's it.
That's great. And of course today I think Zealand also has an amazing thing to bring to our audience. And what is this?
Right, here's a very, very powerful book. It's called Grit by Angela Duckworth. And if you are a frequent visitor of TED, you probably have seen her very short but powerful speech on TED. It's about what is the ingredient of success: perseverance and passion. So you endure long hours for what you really care about. That's the way to get success. I think this book, even though it's pretty thick, but it's dense, packed with powerful message, and it should be read by everyone.
So thank you so much, Zealand, for coming to visit us.
It's
I'll
great
do
to be
some
here.
practice during that time.
All right.
And next, let's get back to the master studio with Phoebe, Michael, and the IELTS expert, Miss Lily, will share with you lots of useful tips. Coming up on IELTS On The Go journey, we will follow our brand new host, Dak Chen Tung, to the most prestigious university, the Diplomatic Academy of Vietnam. Of course, we will face off the potential diplomats and listen to their stories. One of them will be chosen as Voice of the Week. Are you ready? Stay right there. It starts right now.